Hello YouTube and welcome to another video. This will be a track guide for Le Mans. In case you're doing the Le Mans 24 or you just want to be faster at IMSA, hopefully I'll help you get there. So, let's start off with just the hot lap and then we'll get into the track guide. So there was the lap. It was a 25.4 flat. That is the wrong button. So, let's break this lap down in more detail. So, going into the Dunlop chicane, you want to push your entire car over this. It will not give you an off track or a slowdown. I'm going to start lifting off the throttle right about as you get off this, just to stabilize the car, slow it down a little, going through this right-hander into the braking zone of the Dunlop chicane. Then you want to brake right about now, up to about 80%, braking as much in a straight line as you can. Down to second gear, using all of the track to the left, getting back on the throttle, and then using all of the curb on the right, and begin to track out to the outside here. Now let's take a closer look at the track limits. So as you can see, all the way out there, you can use all that curb. As long as your left side tires don't touch the gravel on the left there, you're good, no off track. And then here, I think it's the middle of the car over if the middle of the car, so basically this touches the green. And I don't know what it is for here, honestly, but this is within track limits, so alright, let's get it back into the cockpit. So, on cold tires, you gotta be a little careful through here, but we're on warm tires, so we don't have to worry about that. You want to start braking right about as this final orange cone, down to third gear, turning in, using all the camber, just grazing this curb to help get the car rotated, staying close to the left so you can straight line this next corner. Just a slight lift just to keep the car stable. And then into Tetra Rouge, where you want to brake right about at that, right after this blue sign, basically. Right about now. Shoot it up. Get right back off the brakes. Just trail. And then focus on your exit. The exit completely matters through Tetra Rouge. Make sure you don't get a slowdown here, as that will be very bad for your run onto the straight. So as you can see, if your left side tires go over this white line, that's a slowdown. So you gotta be careful there. And then I think it's if your right side tires are on this curb once it ends, that will give you a slowdown. But the run onto the straight is very much the most important thing here. And going into the first Dunlop, or not Dunlop, Mulsanne chicane, you want to start braking right about now. Shifting down to third gear. Getting your right side tires over this curb. Down to second. Keep on braking. Using all this curb, but not too much, as you can get a slowdown. And tracking out wide, as the track limits are very lenient. Going all the way over this curb. And then going out to the left. One thing to note, in the GTPs, you want to stay off of this center line, because your car will bottom out and you will lose a ton of top speed. So stay off this center line. Now if we look at the track usage, you'll see I get up on this curb, I use all this curb. You can't thing for this curb, if your right side tires touch this blue and yellow curb, that is a slowdown. So be careful of that. You can use all of that. Staying off the center line. You want to start braking right about now. Down to third. Getting your left side tires over this. It will hook your car, help you turn. Down to second. Do the same thing here. And then for this curb, you have to be really careful, as it can spit you out. You want to get up onto it. And then if you look very carefully, there's a dark spot here on the curb, and there's a dark spot here on the curb. That is where the curb doesn't perfectly meet this gray area on the left side of the curb. You want to rejoin the track right here, where there is no dark spot, as those dark spots will spit out your car. Now if we look at the track usage, you see hooking up the car in there, using that curb, and using that curb. Staying off the center line again. I'm going to start braking right about when this curve on the right side starts. Down to second gear. Going all the way out to the left, coming back in. Be careful to not touch these green cones on the inside. They will give you a 2-second slowdown. And you can go all the way out to the gravel on the exit. You can use so much more than I did, but you know, be careful, as a 2-second slowdown will really hurt you. Staying off the center line again. Now for Indianapolis, I'm going to start lifting right about when this green paint stops on the left. Start turning in. Start braking right when this blue and yellow curve on the inside stops. Down to second gear. Just scrape the curb to help get the car rotated. Get back on the power. Go all the way out to the gravel. And then for Arnage, it's hard to see, but there is a line right here. You want to start braking right after that. So like right here. Down to second gear. Turning in, making sure to get a good exit. Don't be careful not to go too wide here, as that is an easy off track. So, as you see, cut in. We try to make the braking zone for Indianapolis too as straight as possible. Turn in for Indy. Ton of camber here. Use that to your advantage. And then you go all the way out to the gravel, but make sure to not touch the gravel. That was pretty perfect. And then into Arnage. You see that white line better now. Right just after that. Start turning in. Right at, like about when that curb starts on the left. Be careful with that curb on the inside. And then track out here. Be careful. It's easy to get an off track. Now into the Porsche curves. For the Porsche curves, I brake just before the screen paint starts. Down to 5th, just a slight bit of braking. Hang the car here. You want to stay more over to the right so that you can get a good run through here. Just a small lift up to 6th, another small lift. Start braking about right here. Down to 4th. Try to hold it as tight as you possibly can to this curb. And then this is just a slight lift if you get it right. Gotta be careful though, as it's very easy to get a slowdown on the exit. And moving into the Ford chicanes, you start braking about halfway in between pit entrance. Down to 3rd gear, using the curves. Down to 2nd as you stay on the right. Use this first curb. Don't touch the sausage curbs on the right there. Get on the power nice and early, strike out wide, and that is a lap of Le Mans. Hopefully this helped you out this week and for the 24. I'll see you guys in the next video.